السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Now we are ready to listen to Anne now about the verses we overwent last week and tried to understand what verses we are going to study in the following text, inshallah. Yes, Anne, that is your.
Okay, inshallah. So this is the first flash about Jonah or Yunus.
Mhm.
Which is preferable, Jonah or Yunus? Which one do you want me to use?
However you like it, but since we are talking here in English, why not to use English name that the people are familiar with, but also Muslims know Yunus very well.
Yes. So Jonah shows how to connect all his feelings to the Creator and live with peace of mind. And this is introduced with several surahs, which we went through one by one, but very briefly in Surah 21. But he cried through the depths of darkness, there is no God but you. Glory be unto you. I was indeed among the wrongdoers. So we looked at the term darkness and what did that mean, depths of darkness, and how does this apply to um, me? And we talked about how my spirit is in darkness. And we asked ourselves, why are we here? What is the purpose of my life? We need guidance. So God gave us this need for guidance, and therefore he gave us the revelations. He would never make us in need of guidance and then not provide it. So he gave us the revelations for guidance. For guidance. In the next one, Surah 21, when he called upon his Lord, saying, verily, harm has inflicted me, and you are the most merciful of the mercifuls. So we talked about what does what does it mean that harm has afflicted me? And we uh, said that it's meaninglessness and lack of gratefulness. Those are harms that afflict us. And we talked about always being grateful to the most merciful one. In basically everyday things like drinking a glass of water or when we eat our dinner, we should remember that it's served by Allah and we are his honored guests. And it's easy to forget this, but we should make it a promise to always remember that gratefulness in just our everyday gifts that we take for granted. And the next surah is Surah 9. But if they turn away, say, God suffices me. There is no God but He. In Him do I place my trust. He, the sustainer of the throne of glory supreme. And we talked about what they is referring to. Who is they? And it's us. And we turn away when we trust in something else or someone else. We trust in something else to make us happy or someone else to make us happy. But those are, as we've said again and again in this class, those are all transient things. And the only thing that is sufficient is the God. In the next Surah 3, uh, um, still reminding us about how God is sufficient. For us, God suffices, and He is the best disposer of affairs. In other words, He is always taking care of my needs. Always. We don't need to substitute other idols in the place of God, such as our ego or putting all our energy into our career. Those are transient things. And then there's the hadith narration. There is no strength and no power other than God, the high, the mighty. And the next one, I'm not sure if this is where this comes from, but O Eternal One, you alone are eternal. O Eternal One, you alone are eternal.
Yeah, this is taken from the Quran, but rephrased that.
Ah,
Or rephrased that.
mm.
The words are from the Quran.
And then the last one is from Surah 41. The Quran is the only guidance in healing to those who believe. I reworded it a little bit.
Yes,
Um,
better.
and that's where we ended. We hadn't started the actual text, but we needed to go through these uh, passages in order to prepare ourselves for Nurse's text. And that's what I have.
Thank you, thank you. Beautiful summary, mashallah. Mashallah, you are very careful. Mashallah. Yeah, you
I,
are very good. You took notes very well.
thank you.
Thank you. So
Inshallah.
we can start this introductory section here.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I'll start. The first section of the 31st letter, consists of 6 flashes, each of which depicts one of the many lights of the above verses and phrases. They're recited 33 times each, particularly between Maghrib and Isha, the prayers at the prayers at sunset and nightfall is highly meritorious.
Yeah. It's just recite all this, remember the meaning is
Yes.
very meritorious. It means it refreshes your mind, really, where we stand. Yeah, that is the just reminder for us. There is my notes here. We will see that everything is a matter of perspective. A spiritual. Now, how are we going to really transform ourselves from darkness, meaninglessness, purposeless life into a life which is full of hope, enjoyment, pleasant. So this transformation is going to be explained through the Jonah's story in the Quran. Just we will apply it to ourselves, inshallah. But it is a spiritual transformation, a matter of our perspective, how we can change our perspective. One of them is illusionary and change, get out of the illusionary perspective into a reality, into reality. How are we going to do that? We are going to walk through the story of Jonah in the Quran. It is a brief explanation, so we have to uh, spend some time to go into the details, inshallah. So we can read.
Okay. The first flash. The supplication of the prophet Jonah, peace be upon our prophet and upon him, is a most powerful supplication, a most effective means for obtaining answer to prayer. The gist of the celebrated story of Jonah, peace be upon him, is as follows.
No, no, we will pay attention to this phrase here. This supplication, a most effective means for obtaining answer to prayer. Now, we usually think of obtaining answer to our prayer in our supplications in terms of physical existence. It means I want this, whatever it is. It can be everything. And please, Allah, help me. Please, God, help me to get it. How can I obtain it? Create it for me. Create a means to asking God to do something for us, usually. But we will see that the gist of the supplication, prayer, is that we have to be very careful to obtain answer to our prayers. What we are going to do, we are expected to remember what my objective should be, how I understood, I will understand the reality, so that rather than the physical world is going to change, but my answer will change. No, I don't think it is clear. For example, you say, if I get this job, or if I buy this house, I will be very happy. Now, there is something attract my attention here. Yeah. Ah, excuse me. I have to take care of some things. 20 seconds. A friend was waiting in front of the door, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. So let's work on it and try to understand this. If I get this job, I will be very happy. What is the purpose of getting the job? To reach happiness, to be happy, right? Now, we ask Allah, please Allah, give this job to me so that I will be happy. I will enjoy my life. And what we want to get the physically, the job, the position. For example, it's just a simple example. And when we get the job, we think our supplication, prayer is answered. When we don't get the job, we think our supplication is not answered. That's how we understand prayer. But now, in this interpretation of the Jonah story in the Quran, will teach us this point. Why do you want to get the job? To be happy, right? To enjoy your life. That's what your expectation is. The Quran says, yes, take my guidance and follow my guidance without even you don't get the job or get the job. When you follow my guidance, you will reach the purpose of your prayer. What was it? Happiness, right? That is why I wrote at the beginning of this section, everything is a matter of perspective, a spiritual transformation we need to make. Rather than obtaining the material, worldly means to reach the purpose. That makes a great difference in understanding of our prayers. We studied prayers before in this today's discussion. The most important element in the prayer is not to get what we want, but knowing that we have a point of support for our life, for our being in this world, realizing that there is someone that I can trust. There is someone that he can take care of my needs. That realization is the answer to our prayer. My Creator knows what is best for me. I will try my best to ask Him in the best way. For example, applying for the job. So get ready, prepare your resume in the best way, and prepare yourself for the position you are asking to get. That is your responsibility. But bringing the pleasure out of the job is to be left to God. We don't know whether this job is really going to make me feel happy. Maybe a problem. It may turn out to be a problem for me. We don't know. But if I put my trust in God, as we are going to study here, when I interpret something, for example, we will see that I didn't get the job, so I'm not going to be pleased. That is my perspective. We have to be careful. We don't know the future. We don't know what this job is going to bring to us. But if I say that I have to do my job, my part, whatever I have to prepare, however I have to prepare myself, but leave the result to the Creator. He will create me for the best one. That understanding makes me feel relaxed and pleased within myself. So when I am relaxed, I can be more successful. When I am at tension, not knowing what will happen in the future, I cannot prepare myself properly. So in this world as well, prayer has its immediate effect on my life. Because in the center, I'm just repeating the last one, in the center of my prayer lies my trust in the creator of the universe. He knows what is going to happen tomorrow or in my future. He knows what is best for me. Maybe no one guarantees that if I have a better income, I will be happy. Maybe we may be richer or we may become somehow financially satisfied, maybe more than what we need, and it may be a reason or turn out to be a means of corruption for me, relying myself, forgetting about God. And of course, when I rely myself, I cannot guarantee anything for my future. I have to be very ambitious and capricious. And this ambition and caprices makes me feel always at tension and not happy. We don't know. So do your part, leave everything to the one who is taking care of the whole universe, not only your affairs, who never forgets even the need of a very small ant. Everything is well arranged. So put acknowledgement, put your trust in him. We will go, that's why the most powerful supplication and most effective means for obtaining answer to our prayer is the supplication of Jonah, as the Quran teaches us. We will see that the supplication of Jonah, we will study it in detail, inshallah, very careful, because although it is mainly one verse is studied in this section that we are going to read, it is almost two pages. It is a very short and dense commentator on the Quran, not then very well spread out and explained. Very dense. So we have to be patient and go slowly, inshallah. What do you think? Any comment, any question, concern, or shall we just go on reading? Anyone, please? No one. Okay, we can read it.
What do you see the most supplication?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why is this the most powerful supplication?
Now we will see.
Inshallah.
We see why it is the most powerful supplication. Correct? Did you mean this?
Yes, I'm just trying to see in this particular phrases, what's the most important thing?
Yeah, that's what the purpose of our study, inshallah. Okay.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, I mean, if there is no comment, we can read.
Okay. He was cast into the sea and swallowed by a large fish. The sea was stormy. Oh, sorry. No, this is right. This is where we left off. Sorry. Let me start again. He was cast into the sea and swallowed by a large fish. The sea was stormy, the night turbulent and dark, and hope exhausted. But it was while he was in such a situation that his supplication, La ilaha illa ante subhanaka inni kuntu minaz alamin,
MashaAllah.
acted for him.
Sorry.
There is no God other than you. Glory be unto you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers. Acted for him is a swift means of salvation. The secret of his supplication's power was this.
Now here, let's take this one down. Now let's analyze this verse, although we did last week, briefly now. First, acknowledges that no, there's no God. But the first part of the فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ, this part is not, sorry, this part is not it is not in the translation. Let me try my best. فَنَادَى في الظُّلُمَاتِ, darkness upon darkness, plural. Darknesses, but we don't call it in English plural. Do you say darknesses? No. Darkness upon darkness, he was in and he called out. He, if you like, cried and saying, declaring that there is no God other than God. La ilaha illa anta. There is no God other than you, addressing directly to God, not on his absence. Direct acknowledgement. It means it needs a great acknowledgement of the Creator so that you are so sure that when you speak to him, you know he is your Creator. He is always with you. That is why other than you, not other than him. So glory be unto you, Subhanak. You are perfect. You miss nothing in your power, in your capacity, in your qualities. Indeed, inni, I was among the wrongdoers. Indeed, I am the one who did not realize your reality, who forgot about you. I thought I was expected to get out of this darkness now. The sea and large fish, and the sea was stormy and night turbulent and dark. I mean, you see that darkness or impossibility to get out of it upon each other. You are in the sea, but not only the sea, you have swallowed by a fish. We will understand what they refer to. What is the sea? What does the sea represent? What does fish represent? And what does stormy sea represent? And what does night and darkness represent? So, as far as the conditions of this world and my capacity of my power are concerned, all hopes exhausted. It means there is no hope to get out. If I get out darkness, I'm still in the belly of the fish. If I get out the belly of the fish, I am in the stormy sea so that you can't really go and swim. So, and even you get out, how are you going to get to the shore? so you will be saved. Now, impossibility upon impossibility upon impossibilities, as far as my power is concerned. But when he realized that there is no other one who can really save him from this darkness, this darkness upon darkness, then you cannot do it. But the one who creates this position, creates everything and the sea and darkness, that is his act of creation. Oh, he can manage it. That is the realization of belief. That is, he can manage it now, right? So that is what we have to prepare our mind now. How are we going to change this perspective? It means our understanding, inshallah. Any comment more? Yeah, if not, I haven't seen it. Yeah. So if not, we can, inshallah, read it and see.
The secret of his
Excuse me.
sorry.
Yeah, just this part sort of reminds me of what we said earlier. That prayer has an immediate effect on our life, and that it becomes a center of support.
Mhm.
And so even in such a difficult situation where the impossibilities are layered, right? So there's darkness upon darkness upon darkness. That his center of support, even in that difficult moment, is prayer, is turning to God, is speaking to him.
Remembering him.
Remembering him. And so I love the phrase of like it becomes a point of support, because when you fall or when you're in a point of darkness, you need support. And for him, it was reaching out in that moment.
Yeah.
In the
Realizing that he is the one who put me, he created me in this way. He is the one who gave me the need for salvation or securing myself from this impossible position. He is the one who created the feeling, the feeling of need to get out of this position. And he is the one who created the outside. I didn't create it. I didn't create my need of pleasurable life, happy life. He did it. So realize that he can take care of it. This realization changes your psychological or spiritual attitude. Now, rather than falling into despair, you say, God can take care of me. I will try my best, but God can take care of me. This realization will be a guide for us. How are we going to really manage our life here? Inshallah. Yes, excuse me, Anna, our friend's comment. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
The secret of his in that situation, all causes were suspended. For Jonah needed to save him one whose command should constrain the whale in the sea and the night in the sky. The night, the sea, and the whale were united against him. Only one whose command might subdue all three of these could bring him forth on the strand of salvation. Even if the entirety of creation had become his servants and helpers, it would have been of no avail, for causes have no effect. Since Jonah saw with the eye of certainty that there was no refuge other than the causer of causes, and unfolded to him was the meaning of divine oneness within the light of divine unity. His supplication was suddenly able to subdue the night, the sea, and the whale. Through the light of divine unity, he was able to transform the belly of the whale into a submarine, and the surging sea, which in its awesomeness resembled an erupting volcano, into a peaceful plain, a pleasant place of excursion. Through the light of unity, he was able to sweep the sky's continents clear of all clouds and to set the moon over his head like a lantern. Creation that had been pressing and threatening him from all sides now showed him a friendly face from every direction. Thus he reached the shore of salvation, where beneath the creeping gourd tree he observed this favor of his Lord.
Now, we are reading the secret of the supplication. But as it is described in the Quran in physical terms, we think that God saved him from the belly of the fish in the darkness, fi zulumatin. That is why, فَنَادَى فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ. He shouted, he called out in the darkness upon darkness position. Zulumat is plural. In Arabic, you can say. In English, you cannot say. So darkness upon darkness upon darkness. Why? He thought, first of all, I must try to get out of this position. But in fact, this is a description of a person who doesn't believe in God and believes only in nature as it is and tries to gain pleasure by himself. Of course, the Quranic description is in physical terms because human beings need to see the physical description of this psychological situation, feelings. Of course, we know that Quran doesn't narrate stories, historical events. Somebody fell into the sea and then a fish swallowed it. Excuse me, it is impossible after a fish swallows you to remain alive. It is obvious that it is an illustrative way of teaching one psychological perception of the world. It's not physical one. Can't be. You will be in the belly of a fish and you will be alive. Is it possible? Of course, we shouldn't take it as a physical description. It is one's understanding, it's one's perception of the world. No, everybody says, I'm trying to make my bread for my family. Yeah, they call it bread winner. Whoever works in the family, they describe it bread winner. We are winning, as if. But it describes the physical event outside. But the Quran never narrates physical events mentioned in the past or happened in the past. Quran's description is physical in order to make it easy to imagine and understand, but turn it into a teaching. Because teaching, the purpose of the Quran, I think this kind of examples that we are reading from this author is amazing. The purpose of the Quran is not to teach me. what happened in the past. Right? What happened in the past. Quran speech is full of descriptions, but mostly not physical descriptions, spiritual descriptions, but depicted for us, or pictured for us in a physical form. So we have to be careful while we are reading the stories of the prophets mentioned in the Quran. Of course, it doesn't mean that there was no Jonah, there was no problem with Jonah. Uh, this is nothing to do with denial of the historical events. But why, I have to think, why God narrates this event to me in the way that it narrates, not that God is intending to teach me what happened to a person who is called the prophet, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is a human being. This human being happened this and this in his life, experienced this and this. So what? What am I going to do? Why do you tell me this? No. Shall I lament behind after Jonah? He was in a very bad position. Why do you tell me this? Historically, something narrated. First of all, no one can show that, oh, yeah, this narration is true. Here it is, the remnants of it. No, no one knows. Why God bothers to teach, to narrate this event in a physical description? It must be something to do with my life. Do you think I should wait that I will fall into sea, and I should be swallowed by a fish, and then a stormy weather, and I should say here, La ilaha illa ente subhaneke inni kuntu minadh-dhalimin, and everything will be physically solved. It has nothing to do with it in my life. I don't know how to swim, and I don't know. I have never been into the sea like in this position, and I don't think I will experience such thing in my life. And Quran doesn't really speak in a very simple way like this. But we have to understand the secret of the supplication and definitely apply it to our existential reality. Always. Quran teaches me what my reality is. As I mentioned earlier, the way the Quran very briefly summarizes it, it is impossible to experience this when you fall into the sea and you die. That's it. A fish swallows you, you are done, finished. What are you talking about? Then you will be saved. We have to be very careful, inshallah, while we are reading the prophetic stories in the Quran. So the author beautifully describes now. In that situation, all causes were suspended. What does it mean? Anyone? All causes were suspended. Please join me. Any?
They have power, will, knowledge, all the things in the universe.
Our power and matter, blind matter, cannot help me in this position, if I see that the causes are the one who are arranging, it means natural accidental events. I fell into the sea and this happened afterwards. No, we understand that causes have no effect. So how am I going to get out of this understanding of life? Jonah or I can say, I need to save myself. I'm reading for myself now. I need to save myself. Say, no, I need somebody to save me. His command should constrain the whale. Who created the whale? Who creates the whale? And the sea. Who creates the sea? Sea needs to be created. Whale needs to be created. So I will say, whatever the whale I am in, for example, I am in a position that impossible to get out of it, seemingly. But I have to realize I am created in this way by a conscious, merciful, wise creator. There must be a purpose. Now, look for the purpose now. And you cannot get out of it. And you cannot call the sea, please save me, sea or the whale. And any reason, any cause cannot help me. Because they are blind. They just matter. They cannot communicate with you. They are subject to the will of the one who creates it. Now, I need somebody. I need to realize in whose hand all the things are arranged. Whose hand? Who is doing all this? Who is creating all this position? Now, inshallah, we will continue. Then let's listen to Fariha.
Assalamu alaikum. I also think that the causes, going back to the example we took earlier about the job will make me happy. So the causes would be anything, all the steps or the process that I undergo to get that job. Because we said earlier, I think it was very, this is how we usually live. If I get this, I'll be happy. So yeah, if I get the job, I'll be happy. But I feel all causes were suspended was just realizing like even anything that goes on, within a job, like referrals or you're applying, the interview process and submitting the resume, like this is just, it's nothing. They're just, this won't get me to my goal of seeking happiness through the job. So I don't know, that's how I took it in. Just applying it within a practical example and obviously connecting it back to what was shared earlier, that, these are just unconscious matter, means, and so on.
Thank you. Thank you. We will see that. The gist of the story is, we will see here, causes, realizing that causes have no effect. Realize that they cannot create anything. They are not the one who is or that is really putting you in an impossible position to get out of. No, they are not the one. The one who creates all of it, the causer of the causes, are doing it. Realize it and see that he never creates anything purposeless. Realize that he never creates anything with no mercy in it for my benefit. I always mention this. Even my death is his mercy. Because he created me in such a way that I know he is preparing me to get ready, to get out of this world. This world is nothing but a transient being. So he's teaching me that don't rely your body, your money, your position in this world. They are transient. I am the one who is permanent. So realize that I am putting you in this position as if they call it the time tunnel. So I am put in the time tunnel. I cannot go back. I cannot go back to my young age. And I have to move. I cannot stop myself. It means I have to age. Who is arranging it? Don't be afraid of getting old. But realizing that somebody is teaching you mercifully, get ready for the eternal life. The purpose, the ultimate purpose of your existence in this world is to prepare yourself for the eternal life so that you will be asking the Creator, you gave me all these needs, and now I am in front of you. All the causes went behind. I left all my properties, all my fame, whatever I have, position in this world. All of them are behind. I am with you now. As you promised me the eternal happiness through my spirit, because every human feeling need eternal happiness, eternal satisfaction. Now, please give me. I am with you now. I left everything behind. But leaving everything behind wasn't in my hand. It was arranged. I didn't do it purposefully. No, I was taken out of it by the one who is merciful, who is wise. Realize this, the causer of causes, rather than causes themselves. This is how we should transfer our understanding of our existence. Now, as far as if I forget about the Creator and see that I am going to save myself, I am going to make myself happy with the properties, impossible. If I get for example, let's say I gain a lot of money, a lot of properties that makes my life sure. None of these properties can help me to forget about my future, that I'm going to live, all of them. On top of it, the more I have, the harder it becomes to leave behind. It means the richer one becomes, the harder to face the reality of death. He is much more frightened than poor guys from death. That's why they get really very sensitive about if anything happens, if they feel something a little bit problem in their body, because they think that their body will save them. So if their body is healthy, they will live forever. But they don't know that, or they should realize, we should realize that the human cells are created in such a way that as soon as they start functioning, they give the signal. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. We are going to die. And those people who are expert on it, I learned from them. I don't know. And I learned from them, they said, human cells can only stay alive 125 years, the most. It means the cell itself says, whatever you do, however you do, after 125 years, definitely you are not alive. It means from within the reminder is there. It means I am taking care of my body. Yes, we do, but it doesn't mean that we are going to save ourselves from dying. We have to be careful here. So I will know, definitely I know that I'm going to die. So really, whatever I have in this world, none of them can save me. Causes have no effect. So the only salvation is possible to realize and trust in the one who creates me in this position. Alhamdulillah. So the supplication means not in the belly of the fish, and Yunus, the prophet Jonah, prayed, La ilaha illa anta, there is no God but only you. You are the perfect one, most absolute one. Subhanak, the most absolute one. Inni kuntu minadh-dhalimin. My interpretation of the situation was wrong. I forgot to rely on you. I forgot to put my trust in you. I forgot it. It is a lesson for me, not for Jonah. I don't know what happened to him. None of my business. God is telling me that, Ali, when you forget me and trust in the causes, none of the parts of this universe can save me and take me to the salvation. None of them. So this is a beautiful description, unbelievable. And that is how we should understand the prophetic narrations in the Quran. Now, through the, you are just letting me speak only, no one joins me. Now, through the light of divine unity, he was able to, it means divine unity, realizing that divine unity we discuss or mention in this discussion always, that divine unity means absoluteness of the Creator. It means everything at every moment in any position belongs to the owner of the universe. It's arranged by him. Divine unity means every single thing needs to be created in the way as they are. So through the light of divine unity, realizing that the owner of the universe is the one who is the one creates everything. And when I trust him, when I realize, bring him into my mind, I say, I am here for a purpose. Let me see what he wants to teach me. It's very simple, isn't it? Let me see what he wants to teach me in this position. So really, we need to educate ourselves with this understanding. It seems to be, I believe in God, to say easy, but not that easy. Qasim, go ahead.
So I'm wondering if as far as the story goes, a person was put in a position where they were not forced, but guided to come to the conclusion that they're helpless unless they submit to this reality that, the creator provides. For a person who's not in this position, right? Say you're not helpless, your life is going just as fine as one would expect. How is that person, I guess, expected to come to the same conclusion without being put in such a position, if that makes sense?
We are in this position. Everybody is in this position. Can you get out of this transient world? And can you get out of the reality that you are going to die and leave everything very soon?
No, but I guess if you've concluded that and you've accepted your fate, or you've accepted the outcome, um, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like how many times does a person reaffirm this in a more practical sense, like all the time, and what drives a person to this reality? It's just constant reflection, I suppose.
Now, still, I think the uh, method of the Quran is not understood. We don't have to be in a physically uh, difficult position. We don't have to be there. Our very existence, our very reality, in contrast to my human expectations, are always in uh, difficult position. If I understand that I am going to gain pleasure, but we may define pleasure only bodily satisfaction. But the Quran doesn't speak about bodily satisfaction. It is guaranteed in the creation, everybody benefits from the creation equally, as much as they want. They work for it. But the Quran speaks in spiritual satisfaction. So we are always in this position. We don't have to be in a specific physical type of existence. We don't have to be. Just our understanding. If I see that the things around me, the physical, we call it causes. It means, for example, if I eat food, I will be saved. Your body will be saved, not your spirit. Your satisfaction, the satisfaction of your feelings. Your body, the Quran doesn't speak about your body is feeling. It is taken care of in the creation. Quranic message is the aspect that we miss. What is that? Who is going to satisfy your full satisfaction of, for example, uh, delicious food? Only the one who creates this as an example for you. This is an example. So we don't have to be a physically difficult position to experience what Jonah experienced here. We think that Quran is narrating the physical happenings. No, it's narrating my spiritual turbulence within myself.
Makes
So
sense.
that's why the story is told. Yes.
Oh, I was saying it makes sense. Have we discussed like what the sea and the whale is?
Now we are going to.
Okay.
Now, because this interpretation, now we are in a situation 100 times more awesome than that which, yeah, Jonah was. It means the description. So it is, how are we going to relate it to ourselves? Is the interpretation of this physical description and the interpretation will turn into a spiritual description. So we are always in this position because everything is transient. I cannot guarantee anything in this world. And matter doesn't communicate with me. And my human needs are infinite. How am I going to get out of it? Inshallah, next week. I noticed that the time is up. Inshallah. Beautiful interpretation, understanding of the prophetic narrations mentioned in the Quran. So when we hear this story, Jonah was disappointed with the people. It is nothing. The purpose of the Quran is not history, unfortunately. Then most of the people understand it as the story of Jonah. No, it is my story, my spiritual position. Inshallah. Inshallah, I'm excited to see how are we going to relate it to our life next week, inshallah. Okay? Any more comment? Any more concerns, questions? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا إن الحمد لله رب العالمين